Great Grand Rising, everyone. Great Grand Rising. Welcome back to I Am Not the Elite. I Am Not the Elite. Where it does say in the old and ancient texts, and some texts that have not been revealed to the world, and only to the very special elite. It is very important to understand that they will be fooled. They will be fooled to the point as to where even the pregnant feeding mothers will abuse and not pay attention to their newly born infants. We are working in a time where there are things that are now being revealed and have been revealed that don't ever be talked about. And one of them is this subject that I wrote in the book, I'm mentioning in the book, counterfeit spirits that are part of, is the Muhajid and Yajuj. And this is the counterparts of the Gog and Magog story that the Hebrews tell. The Muslims tell a little bit more of a different story, or deeper story. It gets a little bit into it, although it's only mentioned twice in the Quran. But because it is mentioned, just like Enoch is only mentioned in probably a little bit of a sentence in the Quran, I mean, in the Bible, we know that the elite is trying to hide certain information from us, because when you delve in deeper into Enoch, all of a sudden you find out that his whole entire book is right there and not admitted into the books of the Bible. So when you look at the Yajuj Majuj, who are they? What are they? And why are they only mentioned twice? Well, it gets into a thing as to where this could be one of the most important subjects that we need to understand as a being of people. There is a figure in history named Dil Qadmain, who was a king, a very, very, very wise king. He was a very prosperous king, where what you would call God gave him the keys to the world, basically, and he gave him areas to where they would never think of ever being seen. And he had traveled to the ends of the earth. Well, to make a long story short, this Dil Qadmain reached the people so far away where he could not speak the language. The language was unknown to them. And as you know, in many indigenous cultures all throughout the Americas, when you reach a culture that you don't know, a lot of times what they used was sign language, which was the dominant language of all cultures on the planet. Well, he reached the point as to where he got to a place where these people did not speak any of the languages. And they were faced with a dire situation where it was people that were created. They call them, they were human beings. Well, they look like human beings, flat-faced. They had yellow type hair, as it is described. And these beings were the most vicious beings on the face of the planet, or whatever we're on. And the people that he met, they asked if they can help him, if they can help them build some sort of a wall to block them in. So Dil Qadmain, this great, fearless warrior, this king, this great king, probably the richest man that has ever walked the face of the earth, said, I will help you. And they said, we will pay you. And he said, I don't need your money. That's how rich he was. He said, I don't need your money. I will build this wall for free. The only thing I need is your labor. And what they did at the particular time was that they built a wall that was made of pure iron and other materials that went into the iron to even make it stronger. And after the wall was built, He praised God and says, God has offered me the ability to be able to build this for you. To trap these Yajuj and Majuj, trap them in. But it doesn't end there. The people were happy for a time. But Dil Carmain said that there will come a time where God will release these beings, release these humans, these mankind, onto the earth. And they will come by the hundreds of millions. For they're in a place where they're crawling over each other like roaches or crabs are crawling on top of each other, that kind of scene. And they said that this will happen. And the second part that it's mentioned in one of the surahs in the Quran, or any of the hadiths, right? It is mentioned that this will happen before the end of the world, just before the end of the world. And that you will be fighting battles up until this time, meaning that whatever these beings are, they will cause war upon war upon war, and they will decimate every single being on the planet. God tells Isa, which is another name for Jesus, God tells that name that he will have a special hiding place for them in the ground. And that they will hide there to the point where a single ram's head will become more precious than 1 billion ounces of gold. We have times that are coming right now that we are facing that are going to be perilous, and you need to be ready mentally, spiritually, and soulfully. We are heading into times where these elite people know what is happening, know what is going on, but they're also being fooled by a very, very, very sorcerous energy that will lead them down a path of destruction, utter destruction. And you know when this utter destruction has really come to an end, or come to a very close end, is when Egypt and a lot of these other countries will lose their economies. So we're at a place right now in our history that we're very close with all of these things perpetuating. Who are these Yajuj and Majuj? I think they may be the modern day Tamahu, or maybe one of the versions of them, Hyksos. I believe that even though they said that there was a small hole that has been developed, and that they are constantly digging their way out every single day, I believe, based on the research that I've done, that they have found what they call Solomon's Wall. A wall constructed between two great mountains, almost unbelievably being able to be built, which has now been utterly and totally demolished. And that these beings are now living among us right now, causing the destruction of everything. And no army in the world can destroy them. But what is going to happen is that there's going to be some sort of a virus, some sort of a plague that's going to come across this planet and will wipe them out completely. Nothing artificial will be able to survive in the atmosphere that is coming. You just think about that. So as you go along your day, I want you to be able to understand that you are not the elite, which gives you the advantage of being able to think out of the box. And that saying out of the box is very, 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 very important, because it goes into the 369 concept and what this whole entire construct that we're in actually exists. An artificial construct, a box that you have to think outside of and get into a circular view of to what reality truly is. As part of not the elite, Gather all the information that you can and release it on video, speak it, write it. Do everything that you can to enlighten the I am not the elite people that are around you. Rise up and do what needs to be done. Know that there is a great, great light that is guiding us to where we need to be. And that is the reason why the right of return is so important. Building your co-creation communities is so important. Doing all the things that you need are so important in terms of our survival, of our souls and light beings that are within. Ancient text says, be not afraid of what can destroy the body, but be totally afraid of what can destroy the soul. Freedom, my friends, is eternal vigilance. Great grand rising to us all. And may peace be with each and every one of us. Take care.
You run in circles, I'm surrounded by the